Throughout history, there have been countless mysteries that challenge our understanding of ancient technology and construction. One of the most baffling enigmas involves massive stones, perfectly positioned in ways that defy explanation. How did ancient civilizations manage to lift and move these colossal blocks with such precision? From the strange underwater rock formations off the coast of Japan, which resemble an abandoned city, to the massive coffin-shaped boxes in Egypt, these structures continue to confound experts. What were they for? Who built them? And most importantly, how did they do it? In this video, we'll delve into these unsolved mysteries, exploring the theories and discoveries that have left even the brightest minds scratching their heads. 1. Temple of Aindara. In the arid, windswept landscapes of northern Syria, a curious sight continues to baffle archaeologists and historians alike. The Temple of Aindara, dating back over 3,300 years, holds an air of mystery that has survived through centuries of conflict, neglect, and rediscovery. Though it was once a sacred space for ancient worshippers, the temple's true purpose and the story behind its most enigmatic feature, the colossal footprints carved into its entrance, remain unresolved. These massive, perfectly shaped footprints, believed to belong to either gods or giants, are an ancient riddle that continues to fuel intrigue. The temple itself is an architectural marvel, with features resembling the famous Solomon's Temple in Jerusalem, suggesting a shared cultural heritage between the people who built Aindara and other ancient Semitic cultures. The Temple of Aindara was likely constructed during the Iron Age, sometime between the 13th and 9th centuries BCE, during the height of the Mitanni Empire. However, despite its historical significance, it's the mysterious footprints that remain its most perplexing aspect. At the entrance to the temple, large footprints carved into the stone floor are perfectly preserved. The prints are not just regular human-sized tracks, these are enormous, measuring up to 1.5 meters in length. How they were made is a question that has plagued researchers for decades. Some scholars believe these footprints were intentionally carved to symbolize the footsteps of gods entering the temple, emphasizing the idea that this was a sacred space where deities walked among mortals. Others point to Ishtar, the goddess of fertility and war, as a possible figure associated with these marks. They speculate that the footprints were meant to represent her entry into the temple for ceremonial purposes, as the ancient Near East often attributed divine footprints to gods and their earthly visits. As experts continue to debate the true significance of the footprints, the Temple of Aindara remains a site of immense historical and cultural importance, yet its most prominent feature, those mysterious footprints, still eludes complete explanation. 2. Puma Punu. Nestled high in the Andes Mountains of Bolivia, Puma Punu is an ancient site that commands both awe and confusion. Standing at an altitude of over 12,800 feet, it is a place where the thin air and the sheer isolation only add to its mystique. To say that Puma Punu challenges modern understanding would be an understatement. The site, which is part of the larger Tiwanaku complex, is home to some of the most precise and perplexing stonework ever discovered. What makes Puma Punu so extraordinary is not just its location or the cultural significance it holds for the Tiwanaku civilization, but the sheer scale and precision of its construction. The site is home to stones that weigh up to 131 tons, with many of them intricately carved with geometrical patterns and perfectly straight cuts. What makes this even more astonishing is the fact that Puma Punu was built at an altitude so high that the basic principles of construction, such as moving materials over long distances, seem almost impossible to apply. There are no trees at this altitude, which means the builders couldn't have used wooden rollers or other basic tools commonly associated with moving massive stones in ancient times. And yet, these huge blocks of stone, some weighing as much as a small building, were somehow hauled to Puma Punu from distant quarries, transported over treacherous terrain, and set into place with astonishing precision. How did they do it? Puma Punu's enduring mysteries continue to captivate researchers, and while there are some theories about the techniques used to construct the site, no one has yet been able to provide definitive answers. The question remains, how did these ancient builders, armed with nothing but rudimentary tools, managed to build a site that remains one of the most impressive feats of ancient engineering. 3. Masuda no Inafune. In the tranquil village of Asuka, Japan, lies another extraordinary mystery that has puzzled historians and archaeologists for centuries. Among the many ancient stone structures scattered throughout the region, one stands out above all the rest, the Masuda no Inafune. Known as the rock ship, this massive stone structure has the appearance of an ancient vessel, but its purpose and origin remain elusive. Weighing an astonishing 800 tons, the Masuda no Inafune is one of the heaviest stones ever moved by ancient hands. The stone measures 11 meters long, 8 meters wide, and nearly 5 meters high, which makes it an architectural marvel in itself. The sheer size and weight of the rock alone make it difficult to comprehend how it was transported and positioned in the Asuka region, especially given the fact that ancient Japan did not have the technology to move such enormous stones with ease. What makes the Masuda no Inafune particularly puzzling is its shape. Unlike other stones in the area, which are mostly uncarved or simply shaped, the rock ship has been meticulously crafted to resemble the hull of a ship. The shape is strikingly similar to those of ancient seafaring vessels, yet there are no known historical records or traditions in Japan that explain its creation or its purpose. Theories abound regarding the origin and function of this strange stone structure. Some suggest that it may have been a ceremonial object, perhaps part of a ritual or offering to the gods. Others speculate that it could have been the base of a larger structure, or even a part of an ancient temple. Given the religious and cultural significance of the area, the rock ship might have had a spiritual role, but the lack of historical evidence makes it difficult to pinpoint exactly what that role could have been. Despite the many theories, the true purpose of the Masuda no Inafune remains a mystery. Its size and precision suggest that it was constructed by people with advanced knowledge of engineering and construction, yet we have no concrete evidence to explain how or why it was created. As with many ancient sites, the Masuda no Inafune continues to stand as a testament to a forgotten civilization, leaving us to wonder about the lost knowledge and technologies of the past. 4. Nanmadol. Nestled off the coast of Pohnpei in the Federated States of Micronesia, lies one of the most puzzling archaeological sites in the world, Nanmadol. This city, often referred to as the Venice of the Pacific, is a complex network of nearly 100 man-made islets spread across 150 acres and once home to over 1,000 people. What's truly baffling is how it was built. Nanmadol is constructed entirely of massive stone columns, each weighing tons, and there's no mortar holding them together. Historians believe that Nanmadol was the political and ceremonial hub for the Sodali chiefs, who used it to keep an eye on their rivals, housing people in close quarters for control. However, the method of constructing such a site remains a mystery. Despite numerous attempts to replicate how the stones were moved and placed, no one has been able to explain how this was done. Some ancient stories suggest that giant birds were involved, swooping in to place the basalt columns, which is hard to take seriously. Some even speculate that Nanmadol might be linked to the mythical lost continents of Lemuria, or Mu. While this theory might seem far-fetched, seeing the size of the stones makes it difficult not to wonder. The sheer scale of effort, resources, and ingenuity required to build such a structure without modern technology is truly mind-blowing. 5. The ruins of Sacsayhuaman. When you explore the landscape of Peru, you quickly realize that it's home to many awe-inspiring mysteries, with Sacsayhuaman being one of the most enigmatic. Situated just outside Cusco, the former capital of the Inca Empire, Sacsayhuaman is a complex of massive stone walls, some of which remain remarkably intact despite centuries of wear and tear. The Inca people are famous for their stonework, but nothing quite compares to the polygonal walls of Sacsayhuaman. These walls are built with enormous, oddly shaped boulders that fit together with such precision that not even a needle could slip between them. Some sections of the walls stand 6 meters tall, while the longest wall stretches 400 meters. The craftsmanship is so tight that even after centuries of earthquakes, the walls remain standing. The Spanish, upon arriving in Cusco, were so astonished by the walls that they believed demons must have been responsible for such construction. But how did the Incas achieve this level of precision without modern tools? Despite attempts by historians and scientists to replicate these feats, no one can seem to explain how the Incas managed to shape and move these massive stones without mortar. The fact that they did so with no advanced machinery is a testament to their resourcefulness and a reminder that they may have been ahead of their time. 6. The Moray Terraces. About 50 kilometers northwest of Cusco, Peru, lies the Moray Terraces, one of the most astonishing agricultural structures ever built by the Incas. Unlike other terraces designed for farming, the Moray Terraces are a series of circular depressions that descend into the earth like a giant amphitheater. The largest terraces sit in the center, while the structure drops a staggering 150 meters at its deepest point. What makes these terraces so incredible is their design. The bottom of the structure is so well drained that no matter how much it rains, water never pools there. Instead, it vanishes into the ground. The real magic happens with the temperature. At the top of the terraces, the temperature is 15 degrees Celsius colder than at the bottom, creating a microclimate effect. These temperature differences would have allowed the Incas to experiment with crops, testing how plants responded to varying conditions. It's widely believed that the Moray Terraces were used as a kind of agricultural laboratory, where the Incas experimented with different crops and soil types, bringing in dirt from other regions to help them thrive. The level of sophistication in Incan agriculture speaks to their ingenuity and resourcefulness, and it's a mystery how they managed to create such a complex system without modern tools. Just like other Incan sites, the Moray Terraces continue to baffle historians and researchers, sparking theories about advanced knowledge of weather patterns and crop management. 7. The black boxes of the Serapeum Sakara, near the famed pyramids of Giza. An astonishing discovery stunned archaeologists, leaving them to ponder over a mystery that has yet to be solved. In 1850, 24 massive coffin-shaped black boxes were unearthed from a hillside cave near Sakara, situated just next to the Pyramid of Joa. These are not your ordinary tombs or storage boxes. They are colossal granite structures that defy typical engineering and construction methods. Each of these boxes weighs more than 100 tons, and their airtight nature suggests they were designed for a specific, possibly sacred, purpose. Yet the questions surrounding these boxes have only grown more perplexing over time. What makes these boxes so extraordinary is not just their size and construction, but the precision of their craftsmanship. The lids of these boxes alone weigh around 30 tons, and the cutting of the granite is so flawless that it seems almost impossible to believe that ancient tools could have achieved such a level of precision. Some experts speculate that the craftsmanship is so advanced that it might not have been the work of the Egyptians at all. In fact, some even entertain the theory that these boxes could be remnants of an alien civilization. The idea that extraterrestrials could have left behind these artifacts only for the Egyptians to later find and repurpose them adds to the growing mystery of these enigmatic relics. The hieroglyphics found on the boxes are also a subject of great debate. They are so poorly executed that they are often dismissed as mere scribbles rather than meaningful inscriptions. This lack of clarity regarding the writing further complicates efforts to decipher their purpose. Who built these enormous boxes, and why were there exactly 24 of them? These questions have sparked heated debates among archaeologists, and many believe that they may never uncover the truth behind the black boxes of Sakara. 8. The 11 rock-hewn churches of Libella high in the mountains of Ethiopia. There exists a place that seems to defy all conventional understanding of architecture and construction. Libella, a town located in the northern part of the country, is home to 11 magnificent churches that have been carved directly into the rock. These aren't ordinary churches, nor are they constructed using the typical building materials of stone, brick, or wood. Instead, each church is a monolithic structure carved out of solid rock, and they represent one of the most remarkable feats of ancient architecture. The churches are set on a high plateau, about 8,000 feet above sea level, and the scale of the project is awe-inspiring. Not only were the churches carved out of massive stones, but they were also excavated to a depth of 40 to 50 feet beneath the surface. This means that the builders didn't just carve on top of the earth, they dug down into it, creating vast underground chambers, hallways, and spaces. The story of the construction of these churches dates back to the 12th century, during the reign of King Libella. The king is credited with commissioning the churches as part of his vision to create a New Jerusalem after the Muslim conquests of the Holy Land made pilgrimage to Jerusalem impossible for Ethiopian Christians. The 11 churches of Libella continue to function as places of worship today, with both local Ethiopians and pilgrims from around the world gathering to pray, celebrate religious festivals, and marvel at the intricacy of the stonework. The site has become a symbol of Ethiopian Orthodox Christianity, and its enduring mystery only adds to the spiritual significance of the churches. Whether you believe in the divine intervention or not, the sheer scale and mystery of Lalibella's rock-hewn churches make them one of the most awe-inspiring architectural wonders in the world. 9. Borobudur. Located on the island of Java, Indonesia, Borobudur is an ancient Buddhist temple that has baffled historians and archaeologists for centuries. Constructed over 1,200 years ago, it is the largest Buddhist temple in the world, and yet, the purpose behind its creation remains unclear. Built during the 8th century under the Shailendra dynasty, Borobudur's construction is thought to have taken over a century to complete. Despite its size and complexity, much about Borobudur's origins, as well as the identity of its creators, remains shrouded in mystery. Originally, Borobudur was designed to be a single massive stupa standing tall above the surrounding landscape. However, midway through the construction process, the plans were changed. Fearing the immense structure would collapse under its own weight, the builders altered the design and added 3 smaller stupas around a central dome, creating a tiered structure. From above, Borobudur resembles an ancient mandala, a spiritual symbol that represents the universe in many Asian cultures. This geometric design has led some to believe that the construction of Borobudur was influenced by Indian Buddhist principles, but the exact inspiration for its design remains uncertain. Over 500 smaller Buddha statues are scattered throughout the temple, many of them in varying stages of completeness, raising the question of why such an important structure was left unfinished. 10. The Longu Caves. In the small village of Zan, located in Zhejiang Province, China, an incredible discovery was made in 1992 that has since left archaeologists puzzled. For centuries, locals had passed down stories of mysterious caves hidden beneath a pond in the area. These tales were dismissed as folklore until one man took it upon himself to investigate. Armed with a hydraulic pump, the villagers drained the pond, and what they uncovered was nothing short of extraordinary: an extensive network of hand-carved caves, some 30 meters deep, cut into the solid siltstone. The Longu Caves, as they are now known, are a marvel of ancient engineering. There are over 30 caves scattered throughout the region, all carved with incredible precision and detail. The walls, ceilings, and pillars of these caves remain perfectly intact, even after standing for over 2,000 years. What makes the Longu Caves so enigmatic, however, is how they were constructed. The caves are far too complex and sophisticated to have been built using primitive tools, yet there is no evidence of the rubble that should have been left behind from such a massive excavation project. Some experts believe that over 1,000 workers would have been required to carve these caves, but no trace of their labor has been found. These 4 ancient wonders, the black boxes of Sakara, the rock-hewn churches of Lalibela, Borobudur, and the Longu Caves, are just a few examples of the many mysteries that have been uncovered throughout the world. While each of these discoveries offers a glimpse into ancient cultures and technologies, they also highlight how much we still have to learn about our past. With each new discovery, more questions arise, reminding us that the secrets of ancient civilizations may remain locked away forever, waiting to be uncovered by future generations. Until then, these wonders continue to captivate and intrigue, leaving us to wonder what other ancient mysteries are still buried beneath the surface. 11th, Gosc Circle. Hidden in the fields of Germany, there lies an ancient secret older than the Egyptian pyramids, the Gosc Circle. Dating back to 4900 BC, this mysterious site has puzzled historians and archaeologists alike. On first glance, it appears to be a massive ditch about 75 meters in diameter, but a deeper examination reveals a highly sophisticated design. This structure consists of two concentric wooden palisade rings with carefully placed entrances. These entrances are strategically aligned with the sun's position during the winter solstice, while smaller gaps also align with the summer solstice. Many archaeologists believe the Gosc Circle served as the world's oldest known solar observatory. This hypothesis suggests that ancient people used the site to track the sun's movements and mark the changing seasons. However, not everyone is convinced that the Gosc Circle was simply a tool for stargazing. Critics argue that mapping the solstice points alone does not necessarily qualify a structure as an observatory. In fact, some experts are unsure of its full purpose. A darker theory has emerged, which adds a chilling element to the site's mystery. Some researchers suggest that the circle was used for human sacrifice. Archaeological evidence supports this claim. Bones, some bearing cut marks, and signs of ritual fires have been found in the area. This potential connection to ancient ceremonies and sacrifices only deepens the mystery surrounding the Gosc Circle. What remains clear is that this site reveals an astonishing level of astronomical knowledge, especially considering that it predates written history. How could such ancient people possess such advanced knowledge? This question remains unanswered, but one thing is certain. The Gosc Circle is far more than just a simple ring of earth. 12. The Moai. In the Pacific Ocean, there is a tiny island known as Rapa Nui, or Easter Island, which is home to a collection of massive stone heads that have confounded historians for centuries. These statues, known as the Moai, were carved from single blocks of volcanic rock and are famous for their oversized heads, which make up about 3/8 of their height. With around 1,000 Moai created, they stand as silent guardians, their enormous stone faces watching over the island. The largest of these statues, named Pau, stands 10 meters tall, about the size of a 3-story building, and weighs around 82 tons. However, the heaviest recorded Moai is even more mind-blowing, tipping the scales at 86 tons. There is also an unfinished Moai that, if completed, would have reached an extraordinary height of 21 meters, 69 feet, weighing somewhere between 145 to 165 tons. One of the greatest mysteries surrounding the Moai is how these massive statues were transported. The islanders had no modern technology, and the logistics of moving such large objects remain an enigma. Some believe that the Rapa Nui people had help, whether from neighboring civilizations or, as some speculate, from extraterrestrials. While these theories seem far-fetched, it's hard to dismiss the awe-inspiring achievements of the islanders. When European settlers arrived, they found the Rapa Nui people struggling with illness and survival, making the construction of these monumental statues even more remarkable. How a civilization in such a dire situation managed to create such incredible works of art is still a mystery that continues to baffle experts. 13. Yonaguni Monument. The Yonaguni Monument is one of the most puzzling underwater sites in the world, and its origins remain shrouded in mystery. Located off the coast of Yonaguni, a small island in Japan, the monument consists of stone formations that resemble columns, platforms, and even a massive pyramid. Some researchers argue that the monument is a natural formation, claiming that it was shaped by earthquakes and underwater currents over time. They point to natural fractures in the rocks that seem to align perfectly, as if part of a single solid formation that cracked and shifted due to seismic activity. However, there are those who believe that the monument is man-made. The shapes of the structures, they argue, are simply too precise to have occurred naturally. Some of the platforms feature perfectly round and triangular holes, which critics believe could not have been formed by natural processes. Additionally, the sharp angles of the stones appear to have been carefully carved, not worn down by the sea. The debate over the origin of the Yonaguni Monument continues to this day. Some scholars suggest that it could be the remnants of an ancient civilization, long forgotten by history. Others claim that it is a natural formation, shaped by forces of nature over millennia. Regardless of its true origin, the Yonaguni Monument remains one of the most mysterious underwater sites, leaving us to wonder whether it is the work of human hands or the result of nature's creative forces.